So there's been a lot of hype over DJI's newest drone, the Air 2S. The 5.4K video capture, higher frame rates, 10-bit log and HLG color profiles, improved image transmission over a 12-kilometer range, autonomous Mastershots, advanced pilot assistance, and the list goes on. But what does this all mean in real-world terms? How good is this drone for the everyday consumer, the average Joe? Your name's Mark, dude. Let's find out. So let's talk about this 1-inch sensor for a second and why it's causing so much discussion in the drone community. Now, comparing it to the Mavic 2 Pro, which is probably the closest in the DJI lineup, the real world results from both of these cameras is pretty much the same. In fact, I'd probably give the edge to the Air 2S because it has that 5.4K image resolution over the 4K on the Mavic 2 Pro. So when you're editing, you can zoom in and not lose any resolution. But the thing causing most criticism is the fixed aperture at 2.8. The Mavic 2 Pro has a variable aperture of 2.8 to f11, so you can control the amount of light hitting the sensor and control your exposure while you're flying the drone. A great reason if you're a professional videographer and time is money. The fixed aperture on the Air 2S simply means that you're going to have to control your exposure using ND filters, and you attach it to your gimbal before the flight, and that takes what? 60 seconds? And sure, if the sun keeps coming in and out, you might have to change your shutter speed by a stop either side, but again, the real world results are going to be negligible in post-production. We're simply talking about the convenience here and that little bit of extra time it takes to put an ND filter onto the gimbal. This 1-inch sensor captures rich clarity and authentic 10-bit color tones, and the low light performance of this is just awesome, capturing twilight footage with reduced noise and all that shadow information. The only other real differences between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2S is the size and weight, and this is a clear winner. At under 600 grams, I know which one I prefer to carry around in my camera bag. So let's talk about sensors for a second, and specifically the lack of side sensors on this drone. How much of an inconvenience is this really? Well, UK drone law states that you should maintain a visual line of sight with your drone at all times, meaning your eyes and not just the screen in front of you or a pair of goggles. So if we're all abiding by the rules, we shouldn't be reliant on sensors at all. But this is the real world, and those side sensors could potentially stop the drone from smashing into the side of something if you're doing circle shots or helix maneuvers or master shots. So it is a bit of an inconvenience. However, the lack of side sensors is made up by these new additional front upward sensors, which makes complete sense because your drone tends to fly at that angle. And I think it makes it look like a VW Bug or a Porsche or something. I like it. So look, the difference in price between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2S is about £450, which is a lot of money considering you can buy a Mavic Mini 2 for the same price and still have pocket change left over. So is it worth £450 extra for a variable aperture and a couple of side sensors that you get on the Mavic 2 Pro? I'd rather spend that bit of extra time putting ND filters on and doing a proper flight plan, but that's just my opinion. Let's talk about the flying side of things. DJI have rated this for about 31-minute flight time. In the real world, you're going to be looking at about 22 to 25-minute maximum. Top speed on the Air 2S is a whopping 42 miles per hour. And wind resistance, 22 miles per hour. Maximum ascent and descent speed is 13 miles per hour, beating the Mavic 2 Pro in both categories. Transmission between the controller and the drone with 4 antennas now instead of 2 is a whopping 12 kilometers, and it uses the new OcuSync 3 technology. All you need to know is that it's a really stable and reliable connection. Okay, so let's test the advanced pilot system on the Air 2S. If I go into settings and choose bypass, the drone should be able to navigate through this forest of trees without hitting anything. This could be a very expensive test. Focus track is another brilliant feature with 3 different modes. Parallel mode will track a subject from the side at a fixed angle and distance. Or you can follow your subject in trace mode from a fixed distance and it will follow you like a well-trained puppy. Mastershots is the new feature on the Air 2S, which is the next evolution in quick shots. It takes all those awesome cinematic shots and captures them in one intelligent tap of a button. It captures 10 different maneuvers in sequence without you even having to do anything. Just tell it what to stay focused on and it keeps the subject center framed. And then just sit back and let the Air 2S create cinema for you. A great feature if you're a solo creator like me. Being able to capture footage at 60 frames per second in 4K allows you to slow down the action and still maintain incredible quality and resolution. The 20 megapixel camera shoots raw stills photography, allowing you to push your editing in Lightroom and Photoshop even further with control over highlights and shadows, plus color enhancements to create stunning aerial photos.